We won't stop until every illegal smoke shop is rolled up and stubbed out.
Tough talk for Mayor Adams as he and Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg announced a new strategy to stop the proliferation of illegal, unlicensed cannabis dispensaries. The DA's office sent letters to each of more than 400 known smoke shops in Manhattan, warning them that they could face eviction proceedings for unlawfully selling weed, flower, and other cannabis products.
Your lawman is the sheriff of Douglas County, south of Denver. He says legal pot in Colorado has helped fuel the illegal pot business.
What legalization of marijuana creates is an incredible black market of the bad side. And no one wants to talk about that. Yes, you legalize it to sell out of this shop under these regulations, but you got 10 houses over here that are illegally manufacturing and selling to kids on the street for a cheaper price than that you can get over here.
What are you seeing among your customer base?
So that 45 and older demographic has been where all the growth in this legal industry has been. And lately, in the last probably 6 to 9 months, that demographic is disappearing.
And experts say some legal businesses often have to sell illegally just to fund the legal side of their operations. California Cannabis Industry Association Vice President Tiffany Devitt says it's the only way some of them can survive.
Hey there, welcome to another edition of Man with the Show. The show that basically proves we're sitting in an asylum and they've thrown away the freaking key. Thank you for tuning in, clicking on this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. And really, we do respect that you've clicked on this video because this is an important video to, if you're listening in or you're watching, depending on what format you are using, whether it's your cell phone, tablet, computer, laptop, or television. Just like the other video that we discussed, this is a nightmare of epic proportions. And if you haven't realized yet and you've clicked on, you see what's going on. Basically, New York legalized pot as far as recreational and medicinal. I'll tell you, my thought onto the whole situation is that basically it should have been only medicinal, and it should have been through a pharmacy and through a doctor, not through some store in the on the corner, on the block, or the bodega or the smoke shop, because this, and I said this, it would be a major problem. California, 6 years in, is not making any money on there. The illegal trade has literally taken over, and the state's not making money. I think the last count was something like 350 million, which they was expected billions on there. And that's not much what they've gotten out of them in that time period. Because, like someone says, why is someone going to pay more money and taxes to something that they can get on the street corner for a lower price from their local pot guy? And the thing about it is, I don't care what you say, this is not the same pot that, your parents or your grandparents smoked back in the 60s. This is not the same marijuana. It is much more, it's a much more higher THC, and depending of the situation, and if you saw a video before about the zombie trank situation, you could be getting sick from some of this, because basically there is no regulation on who's cutting this stuff. We're already here in New York, we have children eating edibles and ending up in the hospital.
A major concern of the task force is the way the unregulated products, especially edibles, are marketed to children, with names like Lucky Charms spelled with a Z. At a Fort Hamilton Parkway store, we saw individual marijuana cigarettes in a prescription bottle, a big candy jar full of small bags of marijuana, and products claiming to contain THC, and lots of snack bags. The sheriffs tell us that these snack bags, which contain brand names familiar to children, actually contain what are believed to be edibles, including a fake stamp of safety from the state of California.
So let's read into this. New York Post recently. Eric Adams begs Albany for pot crackdown help as illicit stores reach 1,500. Hisner says, just say no. Merrick Adams slammed illegal weed sellers Tuesday, but admitted his hands are tied when it comes to cracking down thanks to lax state laws. We have to zero in on the cannabis stuff, Adams fumed to reporters at City Hall. The cannabis stuff is a real problem, and we must make sure that we can't have people make a mockery of our system. We go in, we do enforcement, and we think we can do $250 fines, he added. I thought it was less than that, but that's the cost of doing business, and our police officers can't take the necessary action. Under New York's 2020 law legalizing recreational marijuana, bad actors only get slapped with a criminal court summons, according to the meager fines. Adams noted an exclusive Post report last week that it exposed an unlicensed marijuana shop brazenly selling pot products across the street from City Hall that was only shut down after it was raided twice. We're going to put a package of bills together to just deal with the cannabis so this doesn't get out of hand. It's already out of hand. We're about 1,500 illegal cannabis shops, the mayor said, and it's not only that they're selling illegal cannabis, they're targeting young people. Yeah, this is you have to remember this. And this comes, from someone whose family worked in the tobacco wholesale business. They used to, the same politicians that got on Camel and many other brands, that they were targeting youngs with all these t-shirts and giveaways and stuff like that. These are the same people that pushed for legalizing cannabis. Think about that for a moment. Look it up. The same people that pushed for this, and it's not only New York, I'm talking California, Colorado, throughout the country, are the same politicians that were against advertisement for kids when it came down to cigarettes. And it's the same thing. Look at the same thing now with the vapes and all the vape pens and the vape tools and shit like that. It's pushed for kids also. It should not have been legalized. Children are getting high on their way to schools, and Adams ranted. Children are taking these gummy bears. I must be old-fashioned. People don't realize what's happening in our country and in our city. We have to start refocusing. Pot with kids has been around for years, even when I was in high school. Kids were smoking pot all over the place. It was always a situation. Just back then, it was illegal. If you got caught, you got arrested. The state cannabis laws does ban legal sellers from advertising cannabis products with attractive packaging or colors, but the Post has found multiple illegal sellers displaying products with inconspicuous names like Cotton Cluster. These children are waking up in the morning, going to the store, getting gummy bears that's laced with marijuana, and who knows what else it's laced with, and then they go into school and learn. And they are opening up around us. The mayor fumed. No, we're losing our grip. Grip's already been lost. And because I say no to that, I got to be the bad guy. No, you ain't the bad guy. Say no, you're just the hypocrisy on this situation. No, I just know what it takes to raise a healthy children and families, Adams went on, and we have created an environment in this city and this country where we are harming our children. We always talk about building a better planet for our children, and we have to build better for children for our planet. This is the same party that has been pushing for all these situations in the schools and educations and stuff like that. And they have no problem with the pornographic books in the school. They're doing nothing to raise the children's scores on mathematics, reading, writing, And then they say, the kids are getting pot, this and that. No, we need to crack down. This is a failure. In addition to targeting kids sales, illegal weed sellers have themselves become prime targets for robbery within the NYPD, responding to a string of shootings across last month. Adams want Albany to make it easier for city authorities to immediately close illicit smoke shops and increase fines. Even far-left Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg has gotten on board, promising to penalize landlords who knowingly lease space to unlicensed pot peddlers. Meanwhile, City Sheriff Anthony Miranda's office has been handling the bulk of the enforcement action, seizing more than $4 million in illegal products last year. Now, here's the other part of this that they haven't, well, some of the news media have lightly touched over it. It's not only the pot, it's not only the edibles, it's the illegal vape pens, and it's also the untaxed cigarettes. Yes, they're selling untaxed cigarettes in these convenience stores as well.
In this instance, they say they found hundreds of illegal flavored vape products, some with bright colors and catchy names.
In this bag is a bunch of flavored vapes, all different kind of flavors, stuff like this. They're not supposed to have.
New York City law prohibits their sale. They were confiscated. They also found that regular cigarettes being sold were counterfeit and did not have the required tax seal, so they were confiscated too, adding to the penalties and fines the store owner could face, up to tens of thousands of dollars.
It has happened, and it's been happening for decades. Trust me on this. Take it from someone who, you know, like I said, my family, this is the reason why we got out of the business, because we could not make any money off of being legal. The only way you were going to make money is that you had to be illegal, and there was no way we were going to do that. We had literally our competitors calling the ATF on us, saying that we had non-taxables. ATF, we invited them in, just go ahead, take a look, up, down, check our basements. You will not find one untaxed cigarette. And they would walk away, every time. And we would get this at least once every 2 months. We would get a ATF on there. And think about this. If the ATF can't handle the convenience stores in New York City, what makes it think that New York authorities, NYPD, is being able to handle these convenience stores? See, the thing about it is when the ATF raids you on there, you end up losing your tobacco license and sometimes the alcohol license as well because of that. But the thing about it is, guess what? The way some of these convenience stores, because depending on who owns them, they'll close down and reopen under a new name, new licensings and stuff like that, and continue doing the same thing over and over again. And I used to tell my customers. They used to come in and say, "Hey, listen, this one up the block, he's offering me, this price on it." I said, "I can't offer you better because of the feds on that. You can go ahead and, risk your license, but I'm not going to sell it to you at a lower price below of what the federal government has mandated." This is the way things are. And like I said, we have the situation with Trank on the streets now being laced in fentanyl. And that fentanyl is showing up in marijuana. How long before that grip comes into reality? Think about that for a minute. This is the dangers. They said, well, nobody has died of marijuana and stuff like that. I beg to differ. And the reason is that there are those out there smoking fentanyl with marijuana laced fentanyl. And guess what happens to them? They OD or they end up dead. So you're telling me that marijuana doesn't kill anybody? Maybe not by itself that we know of yet, but there are people who end up in the hospital with unusual illnesses. And now, since they made it legal, people are not afraid to say, well, yeah, I was smoking pot. And they say, and when they do the blood work, they find out it's the pot that was making them sick. And the edibles, how long before they start lacing the edibles? We already have children in the hospital with illnesses from eating edibles. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Tell me how you're feeling about this. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.